Little bit of context for this video. This is Patrick Carson. He won Texas Street Legal. He's winning a trip to go to Japan to drive my car at Ebisu Circuit, and he is getting his car ready for round 2 of Lone Star Drift at MSR Houston, May 21st and 22nd. However, he blew his engine and has to fix it really fast. So let's look at how his engine blew up and everything else, and let's just see what unfolds, because I don't know. All right, there's beautiful sanding sounds outside. I'm over at JR and Keegan's shop right now. Patrick was getting ready for the 2022 Lone Star Drift series. Anyways, he's had his S13 for many years. He just replaced it with a new chassis because the thing was getting super beat, and the motor was in there. He turned it on and the motor had problems. It's an SR20 that's put in a ton of work, and I started the video right now because he's just about to pop off the head because there's something wrong with the motor. I'll let him explain real quickly what they've done so far. Come on, Patrick, what have you done?
Oh, okay, you want the rundown real quick?
Yes.
All right, so
first of all, how many years have you gotten out of this motor? Was it good?
this was a great motor, yes. I bought this motor right before SEMA because I had blown my motor a month before I was leaving for the trip. So I luckily found this motor, which had a blown head gasket at the time. And, well, it was a suspect blown head gasket. I made the really weird decision to not replace the head gasket and just put the motor in the car. And I ended up taking it to SEMA and had 0 problems. Eventually the motor started, pushing coolant and every now and then. And it definitely had a leaking spot in the head gasket. So I ended up driving a full season of Lone Star like that, and then a few events in the following year. And I eventually hit a wall in my old car, and that was the end of that. So the motor was kicking the whole time.
The car wasn't really dead, by the way. You were just sick of it and thought it was a good time to change it out.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly right.
So that car is going to be driven by someone probably.
Maybe in many
Keep
years. But basically, before that though, I did do the head gasket eventually, and the motor was great. Okay. So I bought a new shell, and the motor sat, like on an engine stand for a while. And I eventually put the motor in the new shell, right? So the new shell had a rusty gas tank in it. So I took the gas tank out, cleaned it as much as I could, did the whole bolts and some rust remover stuff in there. And I thought I had gotten good enough, but it turns out I didn't, I guess. So I ran the car. I didn't really ever drive or anything. I kind of just let it idle in my backyard and occasionally give it the old rev, and with the bad rusty gas in it. So
that wouldn't have blown a motor though.
That's what I thought too, right? So, I mean, the motor, it was kind of choppy, it was definitely having like a little bit of a miss. And one day it started having like a fuel knock noise. So I went and bought some octane booster and some fresh gas, put it in there, and the knock went away. I let it idle and rev it up a little bit, and there was no knock anymore. So I figured it was okay. I figured I just needed a new gas tank. So I went and got the gas tank, dipped at a radiator shop, and they resealed it and everything. It's basically a brand new tank now. We put it in the car. Well, I should pause right there. Before that, I had made the mistake of leaving just distilled water in the car when the temps got to about 20 degrees one night, and I forgot about it. So I had to thaw the motor out the next day, drain all the water out, and then put antifreeze in it, start it up, and everything seemed okay, right? So do all that, and I'm thinking the motor's okay. I get the gas tank done, we put it in, and we're thinking, we're about to take the car to the body shop, get the roof sanded, get it prepped for paint, and it's going to be everything smooth, good to go. So we turn the car on, and it's immediately rod knocking. Just like, brrr, like terrible noises. And that was about 24 hours ago.
So what do you think is going to be the problem? Let's guess.
Well...
And let's move on with this video so it's not too long.
Sorry, I'm dragging this one out.
No, you're good.
It's a long story, though. The best part is, though... Actually, it was a terrible, dumb decision. But yesterday, we basically pulled the motor out, pulled the bottom end apart, looked at the bearings, and everything looked okay. So we put it back together and put it in the car. We also bled the lifters and stuff, and it still knocked.
Oh.
And this is all in 24 hours. So I pulled it back out again right now, and I'm tearing it down to the internals.
All right, so you're going to pop out the head studs and take the head off right now?
That's right.
Look, little guys didn't pop out, little freeze plugs didn't do their job. So it's either a crack block, messed up piston, messed up wrist pin in the piston or something.
I'm assuming the piston has melted on top or something, or like it's slapping against the wall.
Do your thing, come on.
I gotta find the socket.
It's on the ground, probably.
I didn't have it out yet, I don't think.
All right, and then outside right now, JR is prepping his car and getting ready to paint it. This is the V8 car that was supposed to be done months ago, that had a body kit, had all the body, had paint, everything else. They're prepping it for paint right now. It was a working car. Uh-oh. That's a lot of SR20 parts. Could you not have blown the stupid motor up when SR20s were still cheap, Patrick?
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
It's basically the worst time to blow an SR20 up right now.
Yep.
Because prices have skyrocketed. I'm pretty sure a red top SR20 is going for like 7 or 8 grand right now.
No.
It's basically going up by the day.
That's insane.
Because you know the rate of SR20 failures.
I have a stroker one.
Oh man.
I have a crazy one.
That's a gold mine right there.
You can pop a T25 on it. Do Texas street legal.
I would absolutely do that. I mean, so this was a built motor. The block was sleeved and like got a...
It's a sleeve block?
Sleeve block, ported head.
Oh, this is going to be excited to see in a minute. All right, do your thing. We'll be right back. Moment of truth. Come on, Patrick.
I'm making sure I have this right.
He's peeking. He's peeking. It's not going to help. Gotta take it all the way off.
Make sure I don't slip and fall to my death.
Yep. All right, the moment
You're like, I'm on
of truth. Either way, it's going to... Oh...
Maybe I have to pull this chain up.
Slide it up. There you go.
Oh, there it is. Cylinder 2. She bored.
Flip the head. Let's see the head real quick.
Oh.
Oh, the head's got some smack marks on it there.
Oh, no.
And there. Patrick's like, get my Dremel.
Fuck, mate.
The valves look good. I just contacted the head a
Oh,
little
no.
bit.
I'm just
That
like,
was the slappy noise.
not my fucking chucks, bro.
Oh man, this head gasket's seen better days.
Dude, that shit's fresh. Like, extra fresh.
Is it really?
Yeah, I just put it on. Like,
Oh, there's pieces of it coming off.
oh, that's fine. Don't worry about that. It's probably from all the piston slapping.
Yeah.
And like the detonation. Just normal detonation activity.
That actually looks like a screw or something in there. Like those look like actual impacts.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's weird how it's like
Patrick's
on the on like just the outsides of that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the knocking noise though? Cause like this, I guess it's a little scored, but it's not like what I thought it would be.
The knocking noise was from the piston hitting the head.
So like one of those valves maybe?
No, it was the head. Flip it over again. So we're looking this, and it looks like the chunk might be embedded in there almost. Whatever it was, I can't really tell. Audience, what do you think happened?
I need answers.
It looks like physical impact from an object.
Kind of does.
And then the piston looks the same way.
Yeah.
Or did you change them before this?
No, I had them.
Number 3 spark plugs right there. No.
Hey, I had that happen to me one time.
Really?
Yeah, I had a spark plug come apart. I detonated it so bad the ceramic fell out.
Ooh.
Bounced around, broke valves. That was a long time ago though.
Any parts missing?
No, this shit looks A1. I'm assuming this is the one that had the fucking detonation though, because it looks a little more beat up.
That looks like physical contact.
Yeah, it looks like physical contact.
Yeah.
If you had detonation that bad, it would be pitted up against
it'd
the
be pitted
top
on
of
the
the
edges.
cylinder, and you would have had other issues. It looks like physical contact.
So what the fuck would have got sucked to my motor though?
The good news is it didn't really tear up the cylinder walls. Nah,
The
actually.
head's borked though. Like
that one
that's,
looks pretty smoked.
that's fucked, right?
They might be able to fix it.
So, in good YouTube content, you need to feel emotion. You need to feel the pain of this man right here. You need to feel
Where's the alcohol?
what it's like. JR, how much is an SR in today's market?
Nowadays, at least $6,000
At least 6
for like a
grand,
good
yeah.
running SR. Not the whole swap.
That's
just
probably like a block
that's
with
like
like
valve covered oil.
That's like a rod knocked block too, probably.
I
No
know.
trans.
It would be cheaper to go back in time and buy another Skyline than buy like a 25-year-old borked SR.
Oh my god.
I really want to know what got in there. Something got in there.
Dude, what the freak?
A bolt.
Well, both your throttle body screws are in there still.
That's
too.
what I'm saying,
I just
because
thought
I've
about
had that happen.
Well,
my last motor had.
Let's go see if it made it past the turbo.
The turbo's fine. It checked
Are you
it.
sure?
Yeah. So it had to have been maybe something in the intercooler. Maybe I dropped something in the car, like while I put it all back
Well,
together.
I'm just saying, look at the exhaust blades if you can see in there easily.
Oh dang! No dump.
Stuff is on there.
Oh,
You're gonna have to check.
I
it
looked at it
regardless
last night. Though.
Bad.
To
And it
show-
actually choked the oil to the head, and that's why I kept kicking rocker arms in that motor. Like I have the head for that motor too. I just don't know if I trust any of it.
To show you guys what's the matter, I think I just lost the chunk.
It's right here.
But there it is.
I'll put it right there.
So it looks like ring material, or like the piston itself along the edge. You can't see because it's hidden, but there's little tiny rectangles from where this material got in the cylinder and just wrecked house. So every little tiny piece here, if you look really carefully, is a little tiny indentation in a rectangle, and then you've got corresponding ones in the cylinder there, all those little tiny rectangles, and then it took out this sleeve. And Patrick actually had a sleeved motor, which is hilarious. All these SR blocks have to be reused now, so people are sleeving like stock motors to try and keep them farther down the road.
So that motor, before I had it, it made 450.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
And now it blew up at
85.
like 250, 200. And then he got really lucky, although it doesn't matter. When we killed SRs in the past, but this is a sleeve so it can be replaced, we always took out the top of the cylinders and stuff. But when it's a messed up cylinder right there, it doesn't matter, I would assume. I'm not a mechanic, but he is.
Yeah, that's definitely needs. The
This
sleeve
motor's
definitely needs to be
been
replaced.
overheated several times though too, just like ridiculous heat cycles.
Yeah.
Because it had, I drove
Which
it for so long
will-
with a leaky head
It'll
gasket.
cause it to grab the piston harder. Granted, with sleeves, it probably affects it differently. But
Yeah.
anytime I pulled my SRs apart, because I always overheated them really badly as well. Pain.
Oh well. Doesn't really matter what it is when it's borked.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So are you going to pull the piston tonight? To
Yeah.
see if that's what it is?
Yeah, I'm about to pull it out. I think it's from carrying around all that ass, boy.
That's possible too, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Parts are piling up. Motor's coming apart. Sadness about to ensue.
Depression increasing.
We're about to find out if that piston is where all the pieces came from. Come on. Do it.
Do the thing.
Do it. Do it. Entertain the audience.
Hold on.
11.
Do it.
You should have.
You gotta do your hand thing. I'm not strong enough. Oh, wait.
Oh, there she is. What is it?
Oh my god.
She's dead.
Oh, she's
We
definitely
called that baby.
borked.
Detonation.
Yeah, it blew it
So
out.
the piston,
So
it was
the-
piston pieces.
Yeah. Lean is mean until it's not.
Why? Is that bad gas, dog? Had to be.
This happened right after you did that donut in the street, right?
Yeah.
When it, yeah, like first time this season.
Yeah.
something leaned out. Either its injector is clogged up or
It probably has fucking boo-boo in the fucking injectors.
oof.
Fuck me, dude.
Bonjour.
This is,
All right, let's get.
Are
a
these
stock
Wiseco
piston.
painted or coated pistons and
need
stuff?
to add in
Yeah.
that meme, Keegan.
They were.
Video.
Well, now it's slick.
Well, it's no good. So
She's cooking
Now it's
out.
extra no good.
It was no
you
good
add in that
already.
Meme where the guy like gets like it's like.
Hey, what
Right now.
is this a 10 over? You know what this bottom end is? Is it 10 over?
Do you want to explain everything? Keegan's and JR are
Sure.
mechanics.
You're
Explain
an
what
engineer,
happened.
right, dude?
I'm a very makeshift engineer.
Well, so what specifically happened that caused this motor to fail?
I did
So-
go Rotella 15W40 and
That
it's
is step one. No,
we have Vera
Rotella.
one, which is gone oil.
So what happened is it got lean, and odds are this was on the intake side. So it started to detonate, and when it detonates, instead of the ignition happening here, the ignition happens over here, or somewhere else on the piston. You get two ignition events, which converge in the cylinder, and it gets real confused. Pressure starts to rocket ship. AFRs go lean. Lean is mean. Mean is hot, and a piston can only hold up so long. So it looks like it blew the ring apart, and then somehow the pieces of broken ring did make their way up out of here, and it just proceeded to beat the crap out of the head.
Then you have a Kevin Susi.
Do you think that happened all at once, or do you think it happened and then like he drove it for 2 events? and
No,
then
this just
it was
happened.
all at once.
No, this
I
just
have.
happened.
I'll show
yeah.
you the video.
Yeah, it was running.
I literally have a video. Of, I drove it once out in the street and like revved it up and did a donut and like then it started knocking.
Did you even look at your AFR gauge?
It wasn't hooked up,
Oh.
but it didn't feel 100%.
No game.
I guess that's the whole video because there sure is no fixing this tonight. We can laugh
just
at the
laughed together.
situation.
We did it last night.
Anyways, here's his new car.
Down tragic.
It is his old wheels, his old mirrors. He's building a car around like a few of his key components. His old headlight covers, new aero probably, his old gas cap thing. Probably his old gas tank. Is this your old gas tank?
No, that's the new one.
Okay, it's a new one.
Got it all done.
Why did you do a whole new car, by the way?
Because I wanted a car with nice full interior. I've always wanted that since I got into drifting years ago, and now I finally have one.
Congratulations.
That's really all I wanted. I just
Yeah.
want a nice interior.
How do you like driving it?
Oh, I haven't got to yet.
Oh, okay.
I kind of just.
That was just a troll
I got
thing,
to.
sorry.
I got to sit in my backyard. Like I kind of just sit in there and think about it.
Yeah.
TikToks.
By the way, it now costs the same to buy a full circle track like Great Value NASCAR as it does for an SR.
Tomato.
Yeah.
But does your circle?
And with that, if you'd like to support Lone Star Drift, support the sponsors that support us so we can make content, go to whatmonstersdo.com and buy some apparel from them. Use the discount code EBISU, there it is on the screen, for a percentage off. And thank you so much.